Hey, what's up, people? This is Ike Love. I'm creating author of the blog, The Viable Alternative, which is an inspirational blog where I share the wisdom insights gained along my path to becoming a greater, stronger version of myself. And if you want to read more on the blog, you can click under the window, and you're on YouTube. You click under the window where it says Show More, and you'll see a link for www.theviablealternative.com. So quickly, what I want to talk about today, why I keep saying quickly, this is probably a long video, but it's not going to be a long video. But what I want to talk about today is something that has been on my mind, a question, and pose this to you. Why do you want to be famous? And I ask this now because, as I just broaden my perspective on what's going on below the surface and everything like that, and I talk with friends of mine who are doing similar, they ask questions, they look below the hood, and, they ask why of certain things. And you notice that people, one of the top two wishes to have, the average person is fame and fortune. People want to have fame and fortune. And the whole proverbial genie in a lamp who grants you three wishes. A lot of the top wishes for people will be fame and fortune. And I've now looked to myself and asked myself, why do people want fame? Why do people want fame? Why do people want to be famous? And when I actually look at the feeling, I look to the reasons. In the final analysis, it's just very pathetic. And I'm not downing people because I've fallen in a category myself, and due to my own issues, and so know myself, and then just basically noticing and just observing things from other people. What it comes down to why people want fame is for a lack of self-love and self-esteem and self-worth. And so therefore, people are just empty shells inside. Because really, what is fame? Being famous is really when you're widely known for something. Barack Obama was famous because he's the first biracial president of the United States of America. LeBron James is famous because he's an amazing basketball player. Usain Bolt was famous, the Jamaican Olympic gold medal winner in track and field, because he broke many world records running the 100-meter sprint. And so, what happens now when someone is famous? You get put in the news, you feel like you're popular, people admire you, people want your autograph, everybody loves you, everybody gushes over you, people put you in a pedestal. And so, the average person sees this and they say, I want this too. But now let's just stop from the top. All right? You're looking at the person's glory. You're looking at the fact the person's loved. You're looking at the admiration. You're looking at the appreciation. You're looking at the, people gushing over you. And you say you want this for yourself. Now, the silly thing about all this is that you want this for yourself because you don't have it. You don't have, how do I say this? So, you don't, you want people gushing over you because you don't gush over yourself. You want people to love you because you don't love yourself. You want people to praise you and everything like that because you don't know how to praise yourself. And because if you were able to do these things for yourself, you wouldn't want it from other people. You would want to be famous, You would just want to focus on doing, living your life and or not wishing for fame. Because you associate fame with people lifting you up. You associate fame with good feelings. Well, why can't you give these good feelings to yourself? And I blame society for this, because society teaches you need something external for you to feel good about yourself. You need something external for you to be worthy. You need something external for you to be a worthwhile human being. And society, puts all these images in our face that you have to buy a car or, live in a certain house or make a certain amount of money for you to feel worthy. So therefore now, or be a certain type of person. So therefore now we strive for fame because we hope we can get these things. We can hope that fame will give us the permission. Fame, which is a recognition of people, will give us the permission to feel good about ourselves. And so, again, this is a sickness of society. But again, you don't need fame to feel good about yourself. You don't need fame to give yourself permission to feel that you're worthy of something, or worthy of being an incredible person. You know, you don't need fame to tell you that. You know, you can tell yourself that. You can be that on your own. You know, without the external indicator of how famous you are. You know, so that's not So that's number one where I notice why people want to be famous is because they feel that it'll give them permission to love themselves. You know, that's certainly why I wanted to be famous and everything like that. And now, let's take things a little bit deeper now. Why are people are famous for the things they do? You know, you do something remarkable, you do something extraordinary, you do something that's out of the bounds of people's normal reality. You know, whether you come up with an amazing business idea, or you have extraordinary amounts of success in terms of what you earn. You break certain world records, you do an incredible sports feat, or you do just something really, really, really well, right? So again, you do all these things, or you accomplish something that people didn't expect you to accomplish, or you gain recognition for that. But now let's take a look a little deeper. How do people get to be able to do these things? Well, number one, they get to be able to do these things at a certain level or accomplish these things because they're willing to do things that the average person is not willing to do. They're willing to make sacrifices that most people are not willing to do. They're willing to go off the beaten path. That's not certain to succeed. Whereas people are walking a path that's created for them, these people who are gain recognition for what they do are willing to go off the beaten path and carve their own way. And it's not easy. They have to deal with a lot of adversity. They have to deal with a lot of ridicule and scorn and criticism. They also have to deal with probably a lot of sacrificing money and sacrificing things that they normally would be doing had they not gone off the beaten path. They have to, forego these things to go off this beaten path. A lot of these people have to do things that other people, not do things that other people do. Like, the average person would want to sit down and watch Scandal or watch Love and Hip Hop or Desperate Housewives and stuff like that. Well, these people forgo all that because they're busy now honing their craft or doing what they need to do to become really proficient at doing something. A lot of these people are not willing to do, or rather are willing to do what other people are doing, like waking up an extra early or sticking to a certain type of regimen consistently day in and day out, year in and year, month in and month out, year in and year out. All right. And so they get to a point after doing this at a certain amount of time where they're able to gain such a proficiency that it gains recognition from large amounts of people and hence the fame. Or they're willing to stick through in pursuing some type of end goal or end objective that brings them to a point that they're recognized. Or they get they accomplish things that are out of the realm of normal people because they make enough sacrifices so they're able to get to such a skill set or aptitude that they're able to perform at such a high level or high at such a high skill set, and so again, the byproduct of all these sacrifices they made was the fame. And people would say, well, they did this because they want to become famous. No, a lot of people did this because of a love of what they do. They had a passion of what they did, or a certain type of obsession with reaching a certain type of goal. All right. This was able to carry them through the adversity. This was able to allow them to keep up with the strict discipline for them to now reach the milestone that they reached with this endeavor that they chose to go after. Most people, because they're just seeking fame, are not able to carry out this type of discipline and consistency and persistence over a long period of time because they don't love what they want to do. They're just seeking for fame, Whereas the other people now, like I said, they have an obsession, they have a passion, they have a desire and everything like that. They have a love for doing something, and that core emotion that's tied to this endeavor that they're doing helps see them through for them to get to the point that they got to. Where now, again, they got the recognition as a byproduct. So, I mean, if you're just seeking for fame, please. I mean, it's not going to work. Or rather, if you're seeking for fame, you're not going to become famous if you're just doing something just for the hell of it, just for the fame of it, just because you want people to love you, you know? The hell with the freaking fame. Throw away the damn fame and everything, and just find something that you love doing. Maya Angelou said, become so good at something that people cannot take their eyes off of you in watching you do it, you know? And again, you become so good at something when you find something you want to become good at, not for the fame, but just for the sake of doing that thing in and of itself, you know? So I say that let go of the desire to become famous and focus on just what you're passionate about, what you love, and, you know, work on that, you know? Again, just the misleading like ideas and attributes people have about fame, the misleading ideas that people have about fame, you know, it's an illusion. And the final thing I want to say is about fame is that people, and again, it's tied to this, is that people see your glory, not your story, and they just want the glory, and they don't want to do the story. They don't want to have to create the story, which is just not easy. You know, a lot of the fame is just the icing on the cake of just a long, arduous journey that people have taken, you know? I remember a guy I know, and he's not famous, but he's, you know, he's more famous than the average person, you know? He has a large Instagram following because, number one, he has appeared on several ads over the last 15 years as a model. He's appeared on talk shows. He's a trainer to the stars. He also, he's been in movies. I've seen him in movies. Yeah, he was on a Monique show some years back, a while back, you know. You see him in the Daily News sometimes. And he recently, early on this year, he had a launch party for an app for the iPhone he had come out with. So I went out to the launch party to support him. And when I was talking with him, you know, you see at the event, he had this huge backdrop. And, you know, he's a diesel dude. He's pretty big, you know, and buff. So you had to picture him in the backdrop with the symbol of the application that he launched on it, you know. And people were coming up to him, taking pictures in the backdrop, fawning over him, you know. Oh, can I take a picture of you? You know, and all that. And him and I were talking about this, and we were both talking about how people don't understand that is just the tip of the iceberg of all the work he had put into to get to that point. And not even just the application. The application is a story in itself and how he came to launch it as he do any project, but just the journey had been on to just become a model and a personal trainer. He also won the Golden Gloves 2 years in a row. He was the oldest Golden Glove winner. All that built up to the point now when he decided to launch an application. And if you don't know, if you've not done any great project and everything like that, you don't know then if you've not done any great project that whenever you embark to do something, it's usually going to cost more and take more time than you originally set out for it to take. Because you're involving people in your project, and people are the unknown variable. They're the wild card. You can't control people. People have their own agenda. People have their own things going on in their life. And if you needed them to complete a certain part of the project, and something happens in their life, and they go bye-bye to you, you can't control that, you know. People have their own situations. And then there's just things that come up that we just can't control of because we can't plan for everything. So therefore, you know, there's a story into launching any type of project, and all we see is the completed product of this project. but we don't see what goes on behind the scenes, you know? So here he is, and everybody fawning over him, and, you know, him being put over social media for the event. But, you know, that whole thing was just the tip. And that's the question. Are you willing to do the work to enjoy the little icing on the cake? You know, are you willing to go make the sacrifices to enjoy that 1 or 2 or 3 hour event you have, that launch event? That launch event is just a small slither of what really goes on. And really speaking, you can't have an event where people fawn of you. There's no real product. You have to create the damn product first, you know? So if you're just seeking fame without doing the work, you're completely, utterly delusional here, because nobody's going to like you for doing nothing, you know? You just want fame, but you don't want to have any type of passion or make the sacrifices or you don't make the sacrifices, you know? So, again, this whole desire for fame is built on such a flimsy foundation, you know? Fame does not come to people who seek it. Fame comes to people who seek given value. And to give value takes a lot of sacrifice, because you have to become a person of value. You have to learn a valuable skill. You have to learn how to give that value, you know? And most people are not willing to do the work to be able to do all that. Also, you want to be loved. You want everybody to love you and everything like that. The hungry do not get fed. You get loved by first learning how to love yourself. You get put on a pedestal when you first learn how to put your own self on a pedestal. Because if you learn how to put your own self on a pedestal, you don't care whether people put you on a pedestal or not. And when people take a dump on you when you're famous and the public turns its back on you, if you have that firm foundation of self-love and self-appreciation, self-respect, and understanding that you know how to give your own self the permission to be successful, you won't fall apart when the tide of public opinion turns against you, which is very likely to happen in life because, frankly speaking, you know, tables turn, things happen. There are a lot of haters out there, you know, and just you're a human being, you know, and people love to build people up and tear them back down. So please get a realistic understanding of what fame is, and just don't want fame just to be famous. It just says a lot about you if you're just seeking fame. It just says a lot about the fact of how little you love yourself, how empty of a shell you are inside, how that, you know, you don't really understand the concept of giving value and finding a passion, finding something that, you know, you really love doing and you want to hone and develop and you're obsessed with because you love it so much. So I hope this hits you in between the eyes so you get a clear understanding of what type of relationship you have with yourself. All right? So hope all this helps. If you want to read more of my blog, go to www.theviablealternative.com. If you follow me on Twitter, The Viable Alt. If you like what I have to say, please click on like. And yeah, also, you know, I come out with a video once a week. Please click on subscribe. And also, if you like what I have to say here, leave a nice, fuzzy, warm, loving comment. Anyway, I gotta go. I got food and I'm exhausted. So anyway, I gotta go. Take care. God bless and peace.